going to be talking about the Gradebook. So when you go into your individual course, on this left-hand side menu, you can click on Grades and it'll bring up the Gradebook. You can filter by student name or secondary ID, and you can also view only specific sections if you want. So you can click on showing all sections or second hour, third hour, fifth hour, however you have your selection set up. You can also import CSV files for grades, and you can export your gradebook as well. So if we go to the setting options, we can click a few different things. We can click view grading history. We can click set group weights. I have the student names hidden, so this one usually says hide student names. You can arrange columns by due date. You can click treat ungraded as zeros, so that way as you're going through an assignment, if someone hasn't turned it in, instead of entering 0 for each one, it'll automatically give that student a 0. So it depends on how you have your grading policy set up. You can excuse students from assignments, so that way if they didn't turn it in and it's excused, it's something that they don't need to do for that particular student, we'll look at how to excuse them from that assignment as well, so that way it doesn't automatically give them a 0, even if you have treat ungraded 0. You can show concluded enrollments, you can show inactive enrollments, and you can click show column notes. So this is what it'll look like. The red boxes are ones that students have turned in that assignment late. It is a dash if that student does not have an assignment, or a 0 if you gave them a 0 for that assignment. And it'll just show for each student what their assignment was. Up at the top, it'll tell you the assignment name and how many points it was out of. And if you click on that assignment, it'll take you to that assignment. So if we were to click on this one, it'll actually take us to that assignment. So we can see what the assignment was, and we can go to the speed grader from there. Okay, so if we just click go back and we go back to our grades, you can also see that at the end of your grade book, if you have your assignments set up in your assignment selection into different groups, so like I have mine set up by unit, it'll also show you the students' grades for that unit. So I didn't implement Canvas until Unit 7, so that's why it doesn't show anything for Units 1 through 6. But whatever you have your assignments grouped as, it'll also show you their individual grades for that group of assignments as well. So for example, for all Unit 7 assignments, the student received an 80.87, and if you hover over it, it'll tell you how many points they received. So this is helpful because you can see if there was a specific unit or a specific group of assignments that a student didn't do well in, depending on how you grouped your assignments. Okay, so you can also then click on individual view, and that's how you're going to be able to do things such as weight assignments, as well as excuse students from assignments. Okay, so you can select specific sections. You can also sort assignments either by assignment group and position alphabetically or by due date. You can click treat ungraded as 0. You can click show concluded enrollments, show notes in student info, and show total as points on student grade page, just like you could on the other one. This is also where you can set group weights. So like we talked about, we have all of those assignment groups in Canvas. So depending on how you grouped your assignments will be determined by what this looks like. So I grouped mine by unit. So you can actually weight each unit. So maybe there's more points in Unit 1 than Unit 2, but you want them to all be weighted equally in the gradebook. You can click weight final grades based on groups, and you can say, I want Unit 1 to be a certain percentage of the grade. I want Unit 3 to be a certain percentage of the grade. So especially if you have things like letter grades instead of doing point-based, then you can manage the weighting of each group. So that'll be depending on how you have your course set up and how you want your grades to be set up as well. Also, you could group your assignments by items. So you could say quizzes, papers, test, and then that would be a good way to, if you wanted to weight items. So even though there might be more points in test, if you wanted the papers to make up more of their grade than their test grades or their quiz grades, whatever you wanted to be weighted more heavily, you could do that as well. So that way it doesn't skew their grades. So if you wanted to make sure that your assignments have different weights to them, so for example, if your quizzes are worth less of their grade than their test scores, then instead of organizing your assignments by units, you would want to organize your assignments by type. So that way when you go to weight them, you can weight them accordingly. And you can also download and upload scores as well. Okay, then you can click on the student. So we're just going to click on student 1 and then the assignment. And you can click next student or next assignment. So if we wanted to grade all of that information for that one, so maybe we wanted to grade all of the pre-reading projects number 1, instead of going through SpeedGrader, we can also grade it this way. So it just depends on how you prefer to grade. And you can click next student, or if you wanted to grade everything for that particular student, you could click next assignment. So we're going to look at a set of during reading questions. So you can see what that student did, so you can give them a grade specifically in here. Instead of through the gradebook, you can click submission details and that'll bring up the assignment for them. And you can also click excuse this assignment for the selected student. So it's difficult to grade through this way versus the speed grader. The speed grader is a much easier way to grade assignments, but I would recommend doing it this way for excusing students. So you can go through and just like SpeedGrader, grade each individual student's assignment through this selection as well. Or you can do excuse this assignment for the selected student. In SpeedGrader, there's no way to excuse them. So I would suggest doing it this way specifically just to excuse the assignment. You can also look at, for that student, how their grades are for each assignment group and what their final grade is. And then since we have that assignment pulled up, here's the assignment information. We can click see this assignment in SpeedGrader. We can download all submissions. It tells us for that assignment how they could submit the assignment. It tells it how many graded assignments we have. And then it also tells you how many points were possible, what the average score was, what the high score was, and what the low score was. You can also click message students who haven't submitted the assignment yet, that haven't been graded, scored less than, or scored more than. So if you wanted to send a message to a specific set of students who had a low grade or had a high grade or haven't sent the assignment yet, you can do that as well. And you can set a default grade. So maybe this is an assignment that you just want to give everyone 25 points or 30 points or whatever it is. You can click select default grade and it'll give all of the students that grade for that submission. You can also curve grades from here. So the average score was 15 out of 25. You can still click assign zeros to unsubmitted ones. That way, any student who didn't turn in an assignment doesn't get the curved grade for it. And you can also change what you want the curved grade to be as well. But it will automatically tell you what the average score was, so you can curve grades like that. Just make sure when you curve grades that you 100% want that for your curved grades, because grade curving cannot be undone and it is irreversible. So make sure you are 100% accurate in what you want to do before you hit curve grades. Okay, so that individual gradebook is really good as far as excusing students from assignments and to see for that assignment overall how many points were possible, what the average score was, messaging students who haven't submitted it or have a low grade or a high grade, and curving grades as well. Also, you can use Canvas along with PowerSchool if your school has PowerSchool already and your school has the advanced version of Canvas, the paid version, where you can integrate people from PowerSchool Gradebook. So, but make sure that you have the assignments named the same way. So Canvas passes back any assignment, graded discussion, or quiz that includes a check mark in the Post to SIS option. So when you're setting up your assignments in your Canvas, you'll want to make sure if this is something that you want to see in PowerSchool, you check the Post to SIS option. This option determines what assignments are sent to PowerSchool. The Post to SIS option may be already selected for you. Canvas admins can enable an account level setting that automatically enables all assignments. You can still manually remove a check mark from assignments that you do not want to pass to PowerSchool. If an assignment group in Canvas has the same grading category description in PowerSchool, Canvas will pass the assignment into the associated grading category in PowerSchool. The only exception is if a category in PowerSchool is named assignment, assignments, or quizzes. These categories will not be matched as they're already associated with the default categories of homework and quiz, respectively. Additionally, Canvas assignments are also subject to the following details. Due dates are required to send an assignment to PowerSchool, so if you don't have a due date on there, it won't send it to PowerSchool. All assignment names must be unique or they cannot be identified by PowerSchool. If a Canvas assignment has the same name as an already existing PowerSchool, Canvas will not push data for that assignment to PowerSchool. So make sure you have different names for every single one of your assignments. Canvas assignments assigned to individual students in a course do not post to PowerSchool. PowerSchool does not support this functionality, and assignments must be assigned for a specific section or for everyone. So unfortunately with PowerSchool, if you have your assignments, you can't just post it for that specific student and then it won't go back to PowerSchool. So if it's something that you want graded, you'll have to assign it to everybody, but tell them not to do the assignment, and then you'll have to go through and physically mark it as excused. Canvas will not receive any grade level information from PowerSchool. The Canvas Gradebook should be the source of all additions, changes, etc. that need to be altered in the PowerSchool Gradebook. Following this best practice will allow a consistent flow between systems and accurate data in both systems. Be aware of the following behaviors in Gradebook. If an assignment is scored with a decimal, Canvas will pass the entire score to Power Teacher, but the assignment column only displays the grade as a whole number. Opening the assignment detail in PowerSchool shows the score with the decimal. Canvas only passes back assignments in courses or sections that contain an SIS ID. If your course or section does not contain an SIS ID in course settings, contact your Canvas administrator. If there's an assignment given more points than the total amount of points possible, so if the assignment's out of 20 points but you give the student 30 points, Canvas will assign the extra points as extra credit to the corresponding assignment in PowerSchool. Attendance in the gradebook is not passed to PowerSchool. The Learning Mastery Gradebook is not passed to PowerSchool. So if you're doing a standards-based grading, then PowerSchool does not support that within Canvas. Canvas does not pass back any weighted assignment information. To weight assignments, you must log into PowerSchool and weight the assignments there. Canvas passes back late designations for assignments. To send grades to PowerSchool, you must post the grades button in Gradebook. The button will not appear until you have selected the Post Grades to SIS checkbox for at least one assignment. If an assignment with identical name already exists in PowerSchool, then Canvas will not push any grades. The assignment information will not be duplicated. If you don't see the Post Grades button in the Gradebook, make sure that the Post SIS feature option is enabled in course settings. Make sure the course and section has an SIS ID, and make sure at least one published assignment has the Post Grades to SIS checkbox selected. If you have all of that and you still don't have the button, then contact your Canvas administrator. Grade distribution is a one-way sync from Canvas to PowerSchool. In PowerSchool, if you change the name of assignment that was previously pushed from Canvas, the connection between PowerSchool and the original Canvas assignment will be preserved. In PowerSchool, if you change a category name, the next time you pass back grades, PowerSchool will put assignments in the original category. If you want to create a new category in PowerSchool, you must create a new assignment group in Canvas. PowerSchool will always match the assignment groups in Canvas. In PowerSchool, if you change a grade for an assignment that was previously pushed from Canvas, the grade will not be reflected in the Canvas gradebook. The next time grades are pushed to PowerSchool, the grade will be overridden with the existing grade in the Canvas gradebook. So this is why it's really important that if you need to make changes in the grades, you do it in the gradebook on Canvas and not on PowerSchool. Otherwise, it'll just override it next time.